All right. My name is Adam Penna, and I'm here today to continue the conversation, talk a little bit more about 3D printing and additive manufacturing. And of course, very excited today to be talking a little bit more about things other than, just what's been going on most recently. And we'll get into that too. But I have Dana McCallum here today, who is joining me from Carbon, and such an exciting company with an amazing background. And also, she is on the board of directors for the Women in 3D Printing, who are having a wonderful conference coming up in January, the TIPE Conference, the TIPE Conference, which is an actual speaking engagement with an all-women speakers. So it should be really amazing. I'm glad to be a media partner with that and looking forward to interviewing each one of the board of directors as we lead up to the event. So thank you for being here today, Dana. Wonderful to have you.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate you inviting me and highlighting the TIPE Conference by Women in 3D Printing. We're really excited about that conference.
Yeah, it is. It's had some good planning behind it. Of course, it wasn't the plan to have it virtual originally, but because of the timing, it's had some really good planning to make that event wonderful in January. We're now, sitting here in the beginning of September, and so there's a long planning, a lot of good things to look forward to leading up to it. It's wonderful to be part of that and to see that mature and happen. So yeah. Excellent. Yeah, so there's so many great things we could talk about today, but there's of course what we've all been going through in the pandemic and the current timeline. And I know Carbon's done a lot of wonderful things with the community and giving back, of course, with personal protection equipment and the swabs and everything that's happening out there, and having the technology to really take advantage of being able to supplement what's been going on in the manufacturing industry. So, and also be very innovative about it, because there's things that the technology can do that are really benefit what's happening with personal protection equipment. So talk a little bit about that. How has it been over the last few months for you?
Yeah. From Carbon standpoint, we wanted to contribute as much as we can during this, uneasy time, and help out with all the caregivers in the industry, with PPE or other jobs that require that type of equipment. We're very lucky to step in there and help out, and also with the swabs. A lot of great work by team members internally at Carbon, as well as partners externally. So we're really excited to contribute. And then, from a personal standpoint, everyone's being impacted by working from home, and previous to COVID, we were traveling a decent amount. So
especially this time of year with the trade show season.
All the trade shows where we would see our industry friends. Those all got put on hold, which is unfortunate, but thank goodness for Zoom or Google Meets, so we can still virtually see everyone.
Yeah, it's been different, but it's been really nice because a lot of community has crossed the borders, as you might say. And I heard the word used before, the frenemies. There's people out there that you might consider competition, but at the same time, the industry has worked a lot more together. That's been the beautiful thing I've seen in the last, X amount of months now. It's actually been going on 6 months since everything's happened with the pandemic. And yeah, it's just been there's a lot of negative things that have been going on. Everybody has challenges, but there's a lot of positivity in manufacturing. So that's a beautiful thing to focus on, and to see what Carbon's been doing in that time. Again, thanks for what you do to give back, because that's a huge part of community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're head of production partnerships over there at Carbon 3D, and you've been there since 2015. But that doesn't encapsulate everything about you, obviously. You've had a long background in the industry doing a bunch of awesome things. And also you've been part of the Additive Manufacturer User Group over there. And recently, right, this is the 2020 Dyno Award winner. So congratulations on that. That's the Distinguished Innovators and Operators Award, and so congrats on that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's I was surprised.
Yeah.
The AMUG board was kind enough to send out boxes to recognize all the dynos and give them their award, and it took me a couple days to open up my box.
Yeah.
The board members texting me like, "Hey, open up that box finally."
Yeah.
So I was super surprised, and I'm very honored to receive that award along with the other recipients like Ed Graham, who you interviewed.
Yeah, I spoke with Ed Graham, of course, and he had it right there behind him next to the Hulk, So, yeah.
Yeah, I should have had mine too.
Yeah, I'm sure it's there somewhere. That's awesome. You get to
Yeah.
put the little symbol next to your name now. It's
Yeah.
my daughter kept asking me, what are all the dinosaurs for? And I was like, well, let me tell you. So it's pretty cool. So congrats on
Yeah.
that. That's awesome. So you've had such how like your experience in the background with AMUG itself, and this year being such a critical year, obviously. How was that experience with you on that side, looking at the industry from the users group?
Yeah, no, great question. I started attending AMUG back in 2013 and got involved in the board for a few years as their vice president, and which is a fantastic experience to get to know the industry, a lot of people. And then I haven't been on the board for a little while, but the board members have been, working their butt off to make sure that the conference was still going to happen. There's a lot of volunteers behind making the user group happen each year. And super, you don't really understand how much work goes into it until you're a part of the board or
behind the scenes,
volunteer organization. So and just to have that network behind you, especially through a pandemic, and if you need to call on someone to ask for help, etc. As you said, we're bringing, you're seeing many of the industry leaders working more closely together during this pandemic, and really AMUG is a conduit to that.
Yeah, it really is. I've attended many over the years, and it's always been a pleasure. Of course, starting out, back when it began as just a user group for the, 3D Systems itself. But then as over the years opened it up to the whole community, and to see it, that's another place where community has come together, and it's a little bit missing. It's a lot missing this year, but at least there's a virtual presence. Imagine if we didn't have this sort of an interface, the digital interface to reach out to each other. It's a challenging year, but I saw the awards, the Dyno Awards themselves were put together really nice this year, even though they had to be virtual and not in person. So
which also took a lot of time, and it's super appreciative by
time and effort behind it. To do something like that. Great group of people with a lot of good work and connecting the community. So I see that continuing on, and it's a wonderful thing. So thank you for being a part of that and continuing to be a part of that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. So we were talking a bit about the board of directors there in Women in 3D Printing, and the group is just so dynamic. So I was very pleased when became, the media partner there for the TIPE Conference and what's been going on. So I know that talked a little bit about 4 different TIPE, meaning technology, industry, people, and economics. And maybe you could speak a little bit on the technology side.
Yeah, so our founder, Nora Toure, is an amazing leader, and she's been thinking about, we've been discussing for a couple of years now, how do we pull in together an all-female speaking conference? And she's really built our team to help organize the conference, and there's a lot of amazing women behind the scenes working on it. And when thinking about who and what we want to highlight when we bring industry leaders together, of course, the backbone of our industry is a lot of the technology that's been developed. And so we want to make sure that we're highlighting the most innovative technology through these amazing female speakers, and all of the work that they're doing to continue to grow and enhance our industry. So a key focus of the speakers that are going to be presenting at the conference is going to be on, the latest technology.
Yeah, and also, I mean, who better than to talk about technology than someone from Carbon 3D? And obviously, so I have to even back it up a little bit because, wow, the company, just coming onto the scene. I remember being at the trade shows, and I'm thinking it was Rapid 2016, where is that the year that you guys were out in the hallway there? When was that?
Out in the hallway.
Yeah, there was one event where you weren't in the main hall, and they had you in a room out in the hall and outside of the main hall.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Was it 2016?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that year was like, you know, a storm of carbon coming on the scene. And it was really, you know, looking at it, you know, from outside and seeing everything happen, it was really cool. I just love the energy behind it. And it was like, I know there was like, oh my gosh, they didn't have the time to get to the main floor just because, you know, didn't plan the year before because things happen so fast. I'm assuming that's what happened. And then having it set up out there, but it had this huge draw, you know, back at that time. And all the investors that were going into it and everyone that was, you know, hyping it. But at the same time, there's, for good reasons, the materials, the actual new process, the way to speed things up, and the polymer side, and really get, you know, you get into the materials with the isotropic properties and everything that actually happens inside of that process. So, wow, you know, to go from there and then to, I'm sure, be there since 2015 and see everything that's happened over the last, you know, 5 years. What's that been like? I mean, it's just like, you can go on forever. Yeah.
I'm just thinking right now of the year of 2016 and how exciting of a year that was for us, because, you know, 2015 was really when we launched. And of course, that's when I joined the company. But then we had months leading up to these, you know, significant events like Rapid, like AMUG, where we were first time exhibitors or, you know, participants within those events. And so I just remember kind of our company learning about the events, planning, putting all the time and effort, and then coming out and really, you know, showing our faces and you know, what we've been working on as a team over the past year. So that was, I remember being so excited for that. And, you know, starting in 2015, you know, you see every bit of what goes into a startup, and it's such an amazing experience to see, you know, starting from scratch and then shipping your first machine. I think one of my first weeks, we have a team picture of everyone who was in the office that day of shipping one of our first printers.
Nice. Yeah.
And it's just an honorable moment to be a part of. And since then, you know, over the years, we've had great successes, and of course the challenges that anyone can think of that a startup will go through.
Yep.
But you're all, you know, holding hands and you're in it together and you're going through the learnings together. And thankfully we have fantastic partners and customers and suppliers supporting us through all of these, you know, significant moments.
Yeah, what a journey, huh? And you mentioned something that's huge, you know, the customer. You know, I know, you know, Carbon has gone through everyone. One of my favorite shoe companies, Adidas, of course, you know, and the Johnson & Johnson, you know, on the medical side, and then, you know, to NASA, you know, so wow, you know, amazing, amazing leaders in each industry, and to be able to captivate them inside of 3D printing and give an actual solution that is used in all of those markets at the top, you know, level. It's a wonderful achievement. And it goes on to say, as far as pushing technology forward and kind of looking at things in a different way, and how fast things can excel when people get on board to really push the technology forward. So
very much so. And like you said, it's not, we can only do so much ourselves, right? We've been working internally on providing a good technology, good materials, good software. But it's our customers who help us take it that much further. And when they can identify potential applications that we either work on through one of our production partners or design firm partners, or directly with those customers, it all in partnership is what makes us succeed. If it's one, you know, person giving a little bit and no one else giving anything, you're not going to get anywhere. And so if we can come together and work together, that's where we really take it to the next level.
Yeah, partnerships are huge, and you know, being able to communicate, of course, going back and forth and getting this is horrible, this doesn't work. It's like, okay, good. Well, you learn, right? You learn when it doesn't work, because then you could say, well, is there something I could change? And if it's something I could change to make that better, you know, that's where everything becomes that much more amazing in our society and manufacturing processes and people's lives. And that's what makes this so wonderful to me is the amount that the manufacturing community gives back to people's lives. You know, it's and 3D printing really focuses on that because it's doing things and designing in a different way and approaching it in a way that adds to the toolbox instead of taking away things. So I love all the complementary processes in the ecosystem, and yeah, I could go on and on. It's just wonderful to see that. You know, it's exciting to me. It makes me get up every day and want to do more. So
I couldn't agree more, Adam. And you know, you said a key point of being open to new solutions. Yes, you're always going to hit a challenge, no matter what. If you're an additive or no matter what industry you're in, you're always going to hit a sort of challenge, and you have to go in the mindset of saying yes, and let's figure out a solution. And my team, I remind them that I hate the word no, and to a degree, of course.
In the right spot, yeah.
But we like to go in with an open mindset of saying yes. And Jason Lopes, who I know you also know, has taught me a lot from an engineering perspective on how to think differently and creatively and coming up with solutions. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. Again, it's understanding what the problem is and coming up with a solution to fix it.
Yeah, and again, you named another way to have a partner. You know, the people you work with and actually contribute to the team and work together to make things happen on the inside. Having that cohesive communication and really trusting who you work with, you know, that's huge. And I see that in those relationships. You know, yeah, Jason's is amazing guy. I'm a fan from way back with him. And yeah, I mean, little spoiler alert here. I have him coming up is the Halloween edition down the road. So that's going to be going to be fun. That's going to be fun. Yeah. He agreed to work on that. I was like, oh, right. That's so neat. Anyhow, but yeah. What a great partner to have, and what relationships like that really actually bolster this community up and make things so interesting, you know? So really cool to see that. So, well, I know, again, back to the conference itself, you know, how did you get involved, of course, with Women in 3D Printing? I guess, when was the first time you saw that organization and then stepped into the board position there?
Yeah, good question. I've known Nora Torre for a few years. I worked with her at her past employer. We worked together, and then obviously continued to grow our friendship. And when I knew obviously she had already started Women in 3D Printing, and when she was thinking about building a board to help her, she reached out to myself and Sarah to help her start the board of directors. And
cool.
She's, again, phenomenal leader and has continued to grow our board. And there's a lot of amazing women involved in making this conference happen in the end of January 27th and 28th. So mark your calendar.
Yeah, big one.
We're super excited for the conference.
Yeah, that's a great conference. I'll go ahead and put all the links into this particular discussion for sure on that, as well as everything that's going in with carbon and women in 3D printing, and yourself, so people could find out a little bit more about what's going on. And yeah, reach out to Dana here if you have any further questions on that. But looking forward to that conference. It's really going to be great, you know. And I know we talked a lot about actually industry collaboration. And you know, I wanted to get back a little bit to what the materials do inside of carbon itself and the partners you have and the things you've done, because I think some of those applications are really interesting. And a lot of times people don't realize the broad industries that some of the production side cover. We talked a little bit about the applications you have with Adidas, and then of course Johnson & Johnson and NASA. So, you know, those partnerships, those kind of applications, you know, what do you see not only now, but in the future? Can you give us a little look into the future of where carbon might be going?
Good question. So yeah, we're working in all industries: medical, automotive, consumer, industrial applications. I think, you know, we're going to continue to expand into new markets, and especially as we launch our new larger printer. So it's about 4.5 times our M2 printer that's been out for a couple of years now.
Neato, yeah.
So we're really excited because it's going to unlock a lot of potential applications.
Nice.
And of course, as we launch a new up and coming materials, little teaser there.
Cool.
You know, potentially a clear material, and again, lots of applications if you just think about that.
Yeah, no, that's a good little insight there. Thank you for dipping your toes into the future a little bit there. That's really cool, And you mentioned a little bit. What's the direct website that people could look at everything at Carbon3D? Is it .com?
Yes, it's carbon3d.com.
Perfect. I'll put that again into this discussion we have here. Hey, Dana, it's been wonderful having you here. Is there anything else you'd like to share while we have you here?
No, I just want to continue to encourage for everyone to get involved in our industry, whether it's through AMUG, Women in 3D Printing. They're both fantastic organizations, and we can use everyone's help to continue to grow them.
Yes, we can. Yeah. Thank you for everything you're doing, Dana. I look forward to seeing a lot more from you and Women in 3D Printing. And also, congratulations on the upcoming little one. I just wanted to throw that in there. I think that's a wonderful.
Baby number 2.
Number two. That's awesome. So yeah, I have my 11-year-old daughter, and it's been interesting watching her go through this time, but she's adapting, and it's good to have the time to spend with her on her education and get her a lot more focused too. So keep looking at the positive. So congratulations on your family. And again, yeah, definitely, for sure. And we look forward to talking to you again. Have a good one, Dana.
You too. Bye, Adam.
Bye-bye.